this computer. All right. Hello, everyone. Today, you're going to be watching me teach you how to add and subtract decimals in the up to the thousandths place. So let's go ahead and get to our slides. So remember, make sure that you're being an active participant today, that you are following along, paying attention. And as I put stuff on my whiteboard, that needs to be on your notebook. So make sure whatever goes up here ends up there. I will be watching while I'm teaching groups. So topic 1, lesson 2, learning target. I can solve various word problems with addition of decimals up to the thousandths place. All right, the main thing you need is your pencil and notebook right now, handy, of course, with your earphones on. So I'm going to walk you through this first one, okay? And then after I walk you through this one, then you're going to try a couple on your own and then do your independent practice. Here's the first one. So there are 1 91/100 liters of punch in the black bowl. The yellow bowl has 2 8/1000 liters. How much punch is in both bowls? So the first thing I need to do is identify the operation. I say, okay, so I have a yellow bowl and a black bowl, and I'm putting them together. So clearly that means I'm adding. So I know I'm adding, and then of course I see my 2 numbers that I'm using. So go ahead in your notebook, write down 1 91/100 plus 2 8/1000. So the rules are the same as that we did with adding and subtracting whole number, adding and subtracting decimals up to the hundreds. So the key is, of course, when you get ready to solve, that you line it up vertically. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing so you guys can see what's on my board. Okay. So you see that I wrote 1 91/100, 2 8/1000. If you want to, you can put a ghost 0 there. In addition, it's not as necessary as it is with subtraction, but you can, if that helps you keep your numbers lined up. And then I just simply add it up. Thousandths place, well, that's 0 plus 8, that's 8. 1 plus 0 for the hundredths place is 1. 9 plus 0 is 9. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 918 thousandths. Make sure you have this in your board, on your notebook. All right, so now you're going to be solving with some problems on your own, okay? So I will display the problem, read the problem, and then I'm going to solve it on the other side of my whiteboard. While I'm solving it on the other side of the whiteboard, you can start solving it in your notebook. If, however, I start talking and showing you how to do it, you can pause the video, make sure you're finished before I show you the answer and how to do it. Okay, so Mrs. Green planted a tomato plant in the ground. The tomato grew 1 38/100 meters one week, 9/10 meters the second week. Finally, it grew 2 1/1000 meters on the third week. How tall was the tomato plant after the third week? So remember, ask yourself, identify the operation, and just imagine what's happening in the problem. The vine goes up, goes up, goes up. Okay? So you know that you're adding because you're combining the lengths. So there's your number sentence, right? Go ahead and start solving it now while I solve it on the back. And don't forget that key. Look under step 2 and make sure you line up your numbers by the decimal point. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn my board around. If you have not solved it yet, pause for a moment, and then when you finish solving, you can unpause. I'm going to stop sharing. All right, so you can clearly see I've lined it up by the decimal. So obviously ghost zeros are highly recommended. So put those ghost zeros in there to help me keep my numbers lined up. And then I just add up each place. Of course, zeros and one in the thousands place is 1. 8 hundredths plus 0 and 0 is 8 hundredths. 3 tenths plus 9 tenths is 13 tenths. Okay. No, 12 tenths. So I'm put a 12, 2 there. Carry the extra whole because 10 tenths is a whole. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So you should have 4 and 281 thousandths. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull up our next problem. All right. So here's the next one. I'm going to back up the board a little bit. All right. So here's our next one. In March, it rained 895 thousandths inches. It rained 1 79 hundredths inches more in April than in March. How much did it rain in April? Okay, identify the operation and solve now. All right, I'm turning around my whiteboard now. If you've not quite finished yet, you can go ahead and pause the video to to give yourself a moment to finish. All right, so you see I already have it lined up on my whiteboard. And notice I focused on the decimal, put my 0 back in the thousandths place to help me keep my numbers lined up. So I have 5 plus 0, which is 5. 9 hundredths plus 9 hundredths. So notice I'm not saying 9 plus 9. I'm saying 9 hundredths plus 9 hundredths. Keeping up with our place values. That's 18 hundredths. I take 10 of those hundredths. That equals 1/10. So I take the 1/10 and carry it above my 8 7 tenths. Of course, I'm going to just add the 1 to the 7, and that gives me 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. I have an extra whole because 10 over 10 equals 1 whole. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 and 685 thousandths. Okay, I want you to try this one. Okay, go ahead, read it. I'll read it to you real quick. Then you solve the problem. Clayton went to the store and bought 15 79 hundredths pounds of zucchini. When he got home from the store, some neighbors gave Clayton 25 and 22 thousandths pounds of zucchini from their garden. How many pounds of zucchini does Clayton have now? I'm going to go solve it behind me. You solve it now in your notebook. All right, we're going to see if green shows up on camera. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. All right, turning my board around. All right, hopefully you'll be able to see it here shortly.
Miss Chapel, if you could please call the main office. Miss Chapel, Mr. Mayfield, if you could please come see Miss Potts for just a moment. Mr. Mayfield.
Okay, you get to hear all the school's business even when you're not here. Okay, so marker broke. All right, so you have, I lined them up by the decimal. It is addition. Put my go 0 there. Of course, 0 plus 2 is 2. 9 plus 2 is 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 5 and 5 is 0. 2, 2, 4, 4 and 812 thousandths. Okay. Pretty. All right. Okay. So that is all for this lesson. So one thing I want to recommend you guys do is take your time on that next slide. There are some review questions on there from the topic 1 assessment. Read over those carefully, do your best with them. And then we will go over this some later in class this week. If you do your best, do well on those problems, the exit ticket at the end of today's lesson should be a cinch. All right. Good luck. Go to the next screen and start your independent practice now.